Born to Rise: How to Win from Within. Written and published by Mindset Masters Audiobooks. Part 1. The Awakening. Realizing your inner power. Every transformation begins with an awakening, not a loud one, not the kind that shakes buildings or crashes through the sky, but a quiet, powerful realization deep inside that you are more than your current circumstances, that within you lies untapped strength, dormant power, and the ability to rise far beyond anything you've known before. The world teaches us to look outward, for validation, for motivation, for proof that we're enough. But the truth is, the greatest victories are not external, they're internal. And in this audiobook, your mission is not to chase after something outside of you, it's to win from within. The myth of external success. Modern culture defines success by external symbols: money, status, likes, followers, titles. But all of that fades quickly if the foundation inside is weak. You may appear successful, but without inner stability, you'll burn out, break down, or constantly feel like an imposter. This is the hidden truth behind so many failed dreams. People chase success before building the mindset to sustain it. They rise quickly and fall just as fast. Why? Because they didn't rise from within. Real lasting success is born in silence, in the early mornings, in the quiet choices, in the mental battles nobody sees. Your identity is the starting point. If you want to rise, you must begin with identity, not effort. Most people try to do more without becoming more. They try to hustle, grind, force results, but underneath, they're still doubting themselves. They're still carrying old beliefs. They're trying to grow without changing the soil. You must first decide who you truly are. Are you a person who gives up when it gets hard, or one who grows stronger under pressure? Are you someone who reacts emotionally, or someone who responds with intention? Are you defined by your past, or driven by your vision? You don't rise by accident, you rise by choice. The inner shift, victim to leader. Most people live in reaction, reacting to problems, to people, to pain. But those who rise shift from victim to leader. They stop blaming circumstances and start leading themselves, moment by moment. That shift doesn't happen in one day. It begins with awareness. Catch yourself when you say, "I can't," or "I'm not ready." Replace it with, "I am in control of how I respond." You begin showing up differently, in your health, your habits, your work, not because the world changed, but because you did. Small wins, big change. You don't need to change your entire life overnight, but you must commit to daily wins. That's how you build momentum from within. Wake up 30 minutes earlier than usual. Start the day with intention, journaling, breathwork, or silent reflection. Do one hard thing you've been avoiding. Speak truth to yourself, not fear. Track your wins, no matter how small. Each of these actions rewires your brain. They tell your mind, "We rise now." They shift your identity, one layer at a time. Your inner environment is everything. The people you allow in your mind, through conversations, social media, books, and thoughts, either water your growth or poison it. To win from within, you must protect your mental ecosystem. Unfollow noise. Distance yourself from those who drain you. Surround yourself with mindsets that stretch you. Read, listen, absorb high-level energy. Think of your mind as a sacred place. Treat it that way. The power of self-talk. Your inner voice is either your greatest coach or your harshest critic. And the truth is, you get to decide which one it becomes. Catch yourself. When you say, "I'm not ready," change it to, "I'm becoming ready." When you hear, "I always mess up," say, "I'm learning fast." When you think, "This is too hard," tell yourself, "This is building me." Words shape identity. Identity shapes action. Action shapes destiny. Born to Rise isn't about chasing a perfect life. It's about becoming the kind of person who rises anyway, through pressure, through fear, through resistance. You are not here to play small. You are here to become unshakable. The climb begins now, and it starts inside. Part 2. Reprogram your mindset. The architecture of inner strength. To rise from within, you must become the architect of your own mind. You can't just want change, you must wire it into your thoughts, your emotions, and your identity. Every person who has radically transformed their life started by reprogramming how they think. This part is about exactly that, how to rebuild your internal programming for strength, clarity, and unstoppable forward motion. The programming that runs you. Most people never stop to question the automatic thoughts that run their lives. They operate on autopilot, repeating behaviors, habits, and beliefs that were installed by other people, parents, teachers, media, past trauma. If you don't consciously choose your thoughts, you'll default to someone else's code. That's not freedom. That's internal slavery. To rise, you must disrupt that code. Start asking yourself, who gave me this belief? Does it serve the life I want to build? If not, why am I still obeying it? This self-inquiry is not just reflection, it's rebellion. It's how you stop being a product of your past and start becoming the creator of your future. The 3 levels of mental conditioning. To truly reprogram your mindset, understand that change happens on 3 levels. Cognitive, surface thoughts. These are the ideas you're aware of. I should be more focused. I want to be successful. These are easy to recognize, but without deeper shifts, they don't last. Emotional, subconscious beliefs. These are the feelings beneath the thoughts. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, belief that you're not enough. Most people get stuck here because they try to change thoughts without addressing emotions. To rise, you must recondition all 3 levels. Not just what you think, but what you believe, feel, and see yourself as. Interrupting negative thought loops. Your brain is a prediction machine. When it encounters fear or uncertainty, it defaults to protective loops. I can't do this. What if I fail? I'm not ready. People will judge me. These loops are not truth. They are old neural circuits, and they can be broken. Use this 3-step pattern breaker. Name it. Call it what it is. A fear loop, not a fact. This is just an old fear trying to protect me. Interrupt it. Shift your state. Stand up. Breathe deeply. Say something empowering out loud. Replace it. Feed your mind a new command. I do hard things. I'm built for this. Every challenge makes me sharper. With repetition, these rewires form new circuits, and new circuits create a new reality. Mental nutrition. What are you feeding your mind? Just like your body becomes what you eat, your mind becomes what you consume. Every word you read, every voice you listen to, every image you scroll through, all of it becomes part of your mental diet. Ask yourself, are you feeding your mind fuel or poison? Are you listening to voices that challenge you or comfort your weakness? Are you giving yourself mental calories or mental junk? Build a high-performance mental diet. Read 10 pages a day of empowering material, listen to audiobooks or mentors that stretch your thinking. Eliminate one toxic source of input every week. Surround yourself with ideas. Reflect who you're becoming. Your outer world will rise to meet your inner standard. Emotional resilience is mental resilience. You cannot think clearly if you don't know how to regulate your emotions. Emotions are not your enemy. They're signal, but most people are either ruled by them or numb to them. True inner power is being able to feel deeply without being dominated. Here's how to build emotional discipline. Pause before reacting. Name the emotion. This is frustration. This is fear. Breathe through the intensity. Choose a powerful response, not a powerless reaction. Mental strength is not about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering your emotional responses so that you stay aligned with your vision, not your moods. Visualization. Programming the future. Elite performers in every field use visualization, not as fantasy, but as mental training. Why? Because the brain doesn't distinguish much between real experience and vividly imagined experience. Use this to your advantage. Every morning, spend 5 minutes visualizing your future self, the one who has already risen. Picture the habits, posture, mindset, and confidence of that version of you. Then step into it. Live from that energy as if it's already true. You're not pretending. You're rehearsing for the life you're creating. The mind believes what you consistently show it. Set a mental standard, not just a goal. Most people set goals based on outcomes. I want to make this much money. I want to lose this much weight. But goals without standards are weak. A mental standard is how you show up regardless of outcome. I don't skip workouts, even when I'm tired. I keep promises to myself, even when it's inconvenient. I stay focused, even when others are distracted. This is how elite mindsets are formed, not from hype, but from personal contracts that are non-negotiable. Decide today, what is your new standard? Write it, speak it, live it. You are not here to live on mental autopilot. You are here to reprogram your entire inner world so that it matches the life you're meant to live. Your thoughts are not permanent. Your beliefs are not fixed. Your identity is not set in stone. You are the coder, the rewriter, the one who decides what runs inside you. And with every new thought, belief, and action, you are building a stronger foundation from the inside out. You are born to rise, and now you're reprogramming your mind to prove it. Part 3. Break the limits. Destroying mental walls that hold you back. Everyone wants to rise, but very few are willing to face the walls they've built in their own minds. These invisible limits don't come from outside. They come from within, from doubt, fear, hesitation, and years of quiet programming telling you what you can and can't do. This part is about smashing those limits. It's about identifying the invisible scripts running your life and breaking them so completely that they never hold you back again. The lie of "that's just who I am." One of the most destructive beliefs you can carry is, "that's just the way I am." This sentence may sound innocent, but it's often used to justify stagnation. It's a silent surrender to limitation. I've always been bad with money. I can't focus for long. I've never been disciplined. Stop repeating these lies. They are not who you are. They are patterns you've practiced, and anything practiced can be unpracticed. Anything built can be rebuilt. You are not your habits. You are not your past. You are the builder, not the blueprint. Identify the wall. You can't break what you don't name. Begin by identifying the mental walls you've unconsciously built. They often sound like this: say, "I'm too late. I don't have what it takes. I'm not as smart or talented as others. What if I try and fail?" These thoughts become mental bricks, stacking higher each time you repeat them. But here's the truth. No wall can stand if you stop feeding it. Grab a note, write down every belief that feels limiting. Get them out of your head and into the light. Clarity creates power. Now ask, who gave me this belief, and why am I still obeying it? Challenge the wall. Once you've identified a limiting belief, the next step is to challenge it like a mental warrior. Use the 3C framework. A. Call it out. This is just a belief, not a fact. Counter it. I've learned new skills before. I can learn this too. Choose a new truth. I become more capable every time I try. Repetition is the key. A belief becomes a wall through repetition. A new belief becomes power through relentless reinforcement. Don't just read this. Practice it. Speak your new belief out loud daily, even hourly if needed. Your mind must hear the new message until it becomes louder than the old one. Fear is not the enemy. It's the signal. Many mental walls are built from fear, but fear itself isn't the problem. Avoiding fear is. Fear shows up at the edge of your current comfort. It's not saying stop, it's saying you're about to grow. Start viewing fear as a compass, not a barrier. If you fear public speaking, speak more. If you fear rejection, initiate more. If you fear failure, take bold action. Behind the fear is the version of you you're trying to become. Break the pattern, do the things scared, move through the fear, and the wall behind it will fall. Comfort is the cage. The most dangerous prison is a comfortable one. Comfort feels safe. It's warm, predictable, but it kills progress. It's where dreams go to die slowly. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you reinforce the wall. Skipping the workout because you're tired. Avoiding the difficult conversation because it might be awkward. Procrastinating because you're not ready yet. Each time you trade your future for a feeling, and that trade is never worth. Train yourself to be uncomfortable on purpose. Wake up earlier than feels good. Push through the last rep. Say what needs to be said. Show up when you want to shrink back. Freedom lives on the other side of discomfort. That's where you rise. Expand your capacity. Most people underestimate what they're capable of, not because they're weak, but because they've never pushed far enough to find out. You won't know your limits until you test them, and once you test them, you'll often discover they were imaginary all along. Build capacity by stretching your edge daily. Wake up, do one more rep after your body says stop. Work for 15 more minutes past the point of mental fatigue. Sit with a hard truth instead of distracting yourself. Commit to consistencies when your mind screams for comfort. That's where your next level lives. The momentum of breaking through. Something powerful happens when you break a wall. You don't just prove something to the world. You prove it to yourself. You send a message to your mind. I am not who I was. I am who I choose to become. And once you do it once, even in a small area, you begin building breakthrough momentum. One wall down makes the next wall weaker, and suddenly, you're not just rising, you're unstoppable. Create a wall-breaking identity. To live this consistently, don't just do wall-breaking things. Become a wall-breaking person. Speak your identity into existence. I'm someone who runs toward challenges. I face fear and rise through it. I break limits every day. This identity will start to feel real when you act in alignment with it, over and over, until it becomes natural. You're no longer someone who lives inside limits. You're someone who destroys them. This part of the rise isn't easy. It's confronting, it's messy, it's personal, but it's necessary, because if you want to fly, you've got to tear down every wall between where you are and who you were born to be. You weren't made to stay stuck. You weren't built for smallness. You were born to rise, and that rise begins the moment you stop accepting your limits as truth. Tear them down, all of them. Part 4. Daily systems that shape winners. Design your life from the inside out. Rising from within doesn't happen once. It happens daily, in the structure you create, the habits you build, and the SIS you commit to, even when motivation fades. This part is about designing the invisible engine behind every high-level life. Your systems. You don't rise by doing what feels good. You rise by doing what's required. And that starts with crafting a life that makes excellence automatic. Motivation is overrated. Systems win. Most people rely on motivation to take action, but motivation is a feeling. It's unstable, it's reactive, and it disappears the moment resistance shows up. The people who consistently rise don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. A system is a deliberate structure that makes your success inevitable. It's a framework of habits, triggers, environments, routines, and standards that drive you forward, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation is emotional, systems are structural, and structure sustains progress. The system mindset. You are a designer. The average person sees life as something that happens to them. The rising person sees life as something they design. Begin seeing yourself not just as a person with goals, but as a life architect. Ask K. What environments trigger the best version of me? To what patterns destroy my focus or energy? What habits align with the identity I'm building? Now design around that, not by willpower but by setup. Because success is not about trying harder, it's about removing friction and building momentum into your environment. Morning power rituals. Win the first hour. The most successful people in the world protect their mornings, because they understand that how you begin your day is how you train your brain. Build a system that puts you in power mode before the world touches you, not to chaos or notifications. Hydrate and move. Even a short burst of exercise resets your nervous system. Journal or reflect. Organize your thoughts before they organize you. Feed your mind. Read, listen, or visualize something that elevates your energy. Declare your intention. Speak who you are becoming. This isn't about perfection. It's about ownership. Your morning is your mental gym. Show up with purpose. Habit stacking. make growth automatic. Willpower fades, but automation creates consistency. Habit stacking is the practice of linking a new empowering habit to an existing routine. That way your growth becomes triggered by what you already do. Examples, and over time they rewire your mind for greatness without needing force. Design your stacks. Repeat them daily. Watch yourself transform without burnout. Eliminate decision fatigue. One of the biggest killers of progress is decision fatigue, the mental drain from having to constantly decide what to do next. Winners eliminate this. They build systems that remove unnecessary choices. During the week, schedule workouts like appointments. Automate finances and calendar blocks. Set digital boundaries in advance. You rise higher when your mind is free from trivial decisions. Create default patterns that protect your energy for what matters most. Design environments that pull you forward. Your environment is either shaping you upward or pulling you back. It is never neutral. You can't rise in a space that rewards distraction, chaos, or comfort. To win from within, you must win your space. Declutter physical and digital spaces. Remove visual cues that trigger laziness. Add triggers for discipline, like your journal or fitness gear in plain sight. Put reminders of your vision where you'll see them daily. If your environment doesn't support your goals, change it until it does, or change your location entirely. You are not a victim of your surroundings. You're the designer. Weekly review systems. Adjust and dominate. Winners don't just work hard. They review, refine, and improve consistently. Create a weekly system for reflection. What did I execute well this week? What held me back or distracted me? What can I simplify, eliminate, or automate? What am I most proud of becoming? What's my Gen 1 growth target for next week? Don't wait for chaos to force you to change. Use your system to stay ahead of it. Self-review is not weakness. It's how you become unstoppable. Anchor systems to identity. Your systems only stick when they match your identity. Don't just say, I'm building a habit of journaling. Say, I'm the kind of person who reflects daily, because I'm building a strategic mind. Don't just try to work out more. Declare, I train every day because I'm someone who moves with power. Your systems must not feel like punishment. They must feel like proof of who you are. Every time you show up, you reinforce the identity you're becoming. This part of the rise is quiet. It's not loud or flashy. It's systems, setups, and structure. But don't be fooled. This is where your life transforms. Because when your systems are aligned with your identity, when your days are designed with intention, when your habits move without force, that's when you no longer try to rise. You rise automatically. You're not just reacting to life anymore. You're designing it from the inside out. And this is where your ascent becomes inevitable. Part 5. Self-discipline is self-respect. Building consistency that doesn't break. You will never rise higher than your level of self-discipline, not for long. Because talent fades without succeed. Passion burns out without focus. And potential means nothing without execution. Discipline is not punishment. It's not restriction. It's self-respect in motion, the ability to align your daily actions with your highest vision, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. In this part, we're diving deep into the mindset and method of unbreakable discipline, the kind that builds momentum, protects your future, and earns your own trust. The truth about discipline is often misunderstood. It's not about denying yourself joy. It's not about grinding endlessly. It's about choosing what matters most over what feels good in the moment. Discipline is what builds self-worth. Because every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you matter, that your vision is worth protecting, that your life is worth showing up for with strength. That's what this is about. Not just staying consistent, but becoming someone who refuses to quit on themselves. Your word to yourself is sacred. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you weaken your identity. You send a message to your subconscious that your words don't mean much. And over time that becomes how you operate, full of good intentions but no follow-through. That's why discipline begins with this one shift. Make your word to yourself sacred. If you say you'll wake up early, do it. If you commit to a workout, show up. If you say today is the day, don't negotiate later. Start small if you must, but always follow through. Because your confidence is not built by shouting affirmations. It's built by honoring your own word over and over. Destroy the negotiator in your mind. There's a voice in your head that tries to talk you out of doing what you said you'd do. It shows up every time pressure increases. It sounds like, just this once, skip it. This voice is not your truth. It's your lower self, the part that wants comfort, not growth. And you must learn to do this. Shut it down. When the negotiator shows up, don't debate, don't reason. Act, move, execute. Discipline is not a discussion, it's a decision. The more you override that voice, the weaker it becomes, until eventually it stops even showing up, because it knows it no longer controls you. Discipline doesn't rely on emotion. If you only act when you feel like it, you're owned by your emotions, and emotions are unstable. But the disciplined person, they act in alignment with their vision, not their feelings. Here's the key shift. Stop asking, do I feel like doing this? Start asking, is this aligned with who I'm becoming? And then act, regardless of the feeling. That is true power, and it's how consistency becomes who you are, not just what you try. Delay, don't deny. Discipline doesn't mean you never rest, never indulge, never relax. It means you do it on your terms, not as an escape, but as a reward. Use this mindset. I don't deny myself. I delay gratification to become stronger. This rewires your relationship with discipline. It becomes empowering, not oppressive. You learn that short-term discomfort often creates long-term ease, while short-term ease usually leads to long-term chaos. You don't need to say no forever. Just say not yet. Set non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are the habits and actions you commit to no matter what. They are not optional. They are not emotional. They are your standard. Start simple. I write in my journal every night before bed. I do deep work for 90 minutes before touching my phone. I speak kindly to myself. No more self-trash talk. Write your non-negotiables down. Revisit them daily. Post them somewhere visible. And most importantly, live them. They are not chores. They are declarations of your identity. Use discipline to build energy, not burn it. A common myth. Discipline drains you. In truth, discipline fuels you. When you keep promises to yourself, you don't feel tired. You feel alive. You gain clarity, energy, pride, momentum. You move through your day with confidence instead of chaos. But when you skip what matters, the guilt drains you. The regret eats at your energy. So flip the script. Discipline isn't heavy. It's energizing. It's not pressure. It's freedom. It doesn't confine you. It frees you from the mental weight of constantly falling short of your own standards. When you fall, recommit immediately. You will slip. You'll miss the workout. You'll lose focus. You'll overthink, overeat, oversleep. That's not the issue. The issue is whether you let the slip become your story. Disciplined people don't chase perfection. They chase the next right action. They rebound quickly. They recommit, not spiral. Here's your rule. Never miss twice. If you fall, correct it immediately. Return stronger. Return sharper. Return as someone who doesn't let failure rewrite their identity. Every time you recommit, you deepen your belief in yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be superhuman. You just need to be someone who honors their word, especially when it's hard. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. And every time you show up in alignment with your higher self, you rise more than the day before. No excuses, no negotiation, just truth, strength, and forward movement. You were born to rise, and discipline is how you rise daily, by choice, by action, by becoming the person who never backs down. Part 6. Mastering Emotional Power. Turn pressure into fuel. There will always be pressure, deadlines, setbacks, critics, chaos. But the difference between those who crumble and those who rise is not what they feel, it's what they do with what they feel. In this part, you will learn to harness the invisible force that controls your performance, focus, and energy more than anything else. Your emotions. Rising isn't just about staying calm, It's about transforming emotional energy into purposeful action. It's emotional power, not suppression, not avoidance, but mastery. You are not your emotions. You are the driver. Emotions are real, powerful, and natural, but they are not your identity. Most people say, "Hey, I am anxious." That language fuses emotion with identity, and when that happens, you begin living from that site. Shift your language. "I'm experiencing anxiety. I feel overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling frustrated." And that's okay. This one shift creates distance between you and the emotion, and in that space you reclaim control. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your doubt. You are the one observing, feeling, and choosing what to do next. Emotional control begins with state awareness. Before you can master your emotions, you must recognize what state you're in. Most people run their lives in low-power emotional states without realizing it. These include: to rise, you must build emotional awareness as a skill. Pause regularly and ask, what state am I in right now? Label it with honesty. Don't judge it, just name it. Decide whether it serves the person you're becoming. This daily check-in is how you stop being reactive and start being intentional. The power of emotional reframing. Reframing is the skill of changing your interpretation of a situation to gain power from it, not pain. Example: default emotion, I failed. Frustration, shame. Reframe, I gained valuable feedback. Motivation, clarity. Situation, you're nervous before a speech. Default, what if I mess up? Anxiety. Reframe, this means I care. That's power. Excitement. Presence. You don't need to lie to yourself. You need to train your mind to extract strength from challenge. This is what emotionally intelligent people do. They don't avoid pressure. They convert it into fuel. Emotions follow motion. One of the fastest ways to change how you feel is to change how you move. Emotion, energy in motion. If you feel low, stressed, unmotivated, get into motion. Move to create motivation. You don't need to feel better to act. Acting is what makes you feel better. Pain as power. Emotional pain is inevitable, but it doesn't have to become suffering. Suffering happens when pain is left unmanaged, unexpressed, or misunderstood. To rise, you must learn from pain, not drown in it. Heartbreak can become strength if you extract the lesson. Failure can become resilience if you own it. Fear can become courage if you move through it. Write this truth deeply into your mind. There is nothing you've been through that cannot be turned into strength, but you must choose to mine it. To stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Your greatest strength may be hidden in the pain you've been avoiding. Emotional boundaries are self-respect. Not every emotion you feel is yours. Sometimes you're carrying other people's anxiety, fear, or negativity. You need strong emotional boundaries to protect your peace. Limit time with energy-draining people. Say no without guilt. Stop absorbing everyone else's problems. Let go of the need to fix or please. Protect your mental environment with intention. You cannot rise while carrying emotional weight that doesn't belong to you. You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to protect your power. Anchoring elevated emotional states. The most powerful people know how to anchor high-energy states and return to them at will. You can train yourself to access clarity, confidence, and calm by linking these emotions to triggers: a certain song, a breathing pattern, a physical movement, a phrase you repeat. For example, before a meeting, play a 2-minute audio that puts you in a peak state. Use visualization to remember your best moment. Relive the energy. These anchors train your nervous system to return to power. You are not a victim of your emotional state. You are the author of it. You don't need to suppress your emotions. You don't need to fake strength. You don't need to act positive all the time. You need to be aware. You need to be intentional. You need to move from reaction to creation. That's what emotional power is. Not avoiding your emotions, but mastering them. Not living in fear of pressure, but using it to ignite something greater within you. You are not here to be thrown around by the chaos of life. You are here to stand in it, breathe through it, and rise above it. And now, you are learning how. Part 7. Resilience Rewired. How to bounce back stronger every time. When life hits hard, and it will, your ability to rise doesn't depend on what happened. It depends on what happens next. Some people stay stuck. Others rebuild. But a few, they rise stronger than they were before. That's resilience, not survival. Not just getting through. True resilience is the skill of using adversity as a stepping stone to evolution. In this part, we're going to rewire how you respond to setbacks. We'll turn emotional weight into momentum, transform failure into fuel, and show you how to keep rising, even when life tries to hold you down. Resilience is not a trait. It's a trained mindset. Most people think resilience is something you're born with. It's not. Resilience is not genetics. It's not toughness. It's not blind positivity. It's built through daily mental habits, not heroic moments. It's built through your thoughts, your reactions, and your ability to move forward even when it hurts. That means no matter how you were raised, no matter what you've been through, you can become resilient. Resilience is the product of perspective, preparation, and practice. The 3 Ps of resilient thinking. Martin Seligman, one of the founders of positive psychology, identified 3 key mental patterns that determine how you respond to failure. Learn to master these, and you master your bounce-back speed. Permanenceatis. Resilient people don't see problems as permanent. They think, this is temporary. I can change this. Others think, this is just how it is. Perseverance. Resilient minds don't let one failure infect every area of life. They think, this is one setback, not a reflection of everything. Others let one rejection ruin their self-worth. Thus, personalization. Resilient people don't take setbacks as proof that they're flawed. They think, this happened. That doesn't mean I'm a failure. Others think, I messed up, therefore I am messed up. Train these responses, and you won't just get through hard times. You'll use them. Don't just get back up better. Resilience isn't about bouncing back to who you were. It's about bouncing forward into someone stronger, wiser, sharper. Ask yourself after every challenge, what did this teach me? What strength did I develop? What part of me needed to be broken to grow? Maybe it humbled your ego. Maybe it exposed a weakness. Maybe it showed you a truth you were avoiding. That's not failure. That's refinement. And people who rise understand this. Every setback contains the blueprint for a stronger version of you. Build your recovery rituals. Resilient people don't leave recovery to chance. They have rituals. Think of these as mental resets. Habits that help you rebound when you feel knocked down. Examples. Reflection. Ask what worked, what didn't, and what's next. Connection. Talk to someone who brings clarity, not sympathy, but strategy. What matters is this. Don't sit in emotional quicksand. Move your mind toward forward motion, even if it's small. Design your bounce-back ritual now, not when you're already on the ground. Rewrite the story of the struggle. Most people let their past pain write their future story. Not you. You're here to rewrite the meaning of everything you've been through, and everything you will face. This means, instead of this broke me, you say, this built me. Instead of I lost everything, you say, I learned what matters. Instead of that failure defines me, you say, that failure refined me. Pain without purpose destroys people, but pain with purpose, that's how you rise, that's how you lead, that's how you become unshakable. Small wins build big strength. One of the most overlooked secrets of resilience is this. Small wins compound into mental strength. Each time you get up early, train when you don't feel like it, push through discomfort, or finish what you started, you send a message to your brain. I am someone who doesn't quit. You don't build resilience through big speeches. You build it through consistent execution when it's hard. Even if you fall again, even if it still hurts, every step forward adds armor to your mindset. One win a day is enough to make a comeback legendary. The identity of a resilient person. You will not rise consistently until you identify as someone who rises. Identity drives behavior. That means your thoughts about who you are shape your capacity to keep going. Try these affirmations and repeat them with belief. I rise when most quit. Pressure makes me sharper. Pain is part of my process. I grow stronger every time I get up. The more you reinforce this identity, the more automatic resilience becomes. When you start seeing setbacks as stepping stones, nothing can stop your momentum. There is nothing soft about resilience. It's gritty, it's grounded, it's forged in moments of fatigue, confusion and chaos. But it's also your edge, your secret weapon, because when you train your mind to keep rising, to extract power from pain, to never let one fall become your finish line, you don't just bounce back, you become unstoppable. That's the version of you being built right now. Part 8. Identity over everything. Become the person who wins. There is a powerful truth most people never realize. You don't achieve your goals first. You become the person who achieves them, and then the results follow. This part is about building that person. Not just chasing outcomes, not just hitting milestones, but transforming your internal identity, because identity drives behavior, and behavior shapes your reality. Success isn't something you do, it's something you become. Why identity is the root of all change. If you've ever set a goal and failed to stay consistent, it wasn't a willpower issue, it was an identity issue. You were trying to act like someone you didn't believe you were yet. You can't outperform the identity you live in. If you believe deep down that you're lazy, undisciplined, not good with money, or not the kind of person who finishes things, you'll always find a way to prove that identity true. Even if you say otherwise, here's the truth. Your life will always reflect the person you believe yourself to be. To rise from within, you must stop focusing only on what you want and start focusing on who you are becoming. Identity is a system, not a statement. Your identity isn't just what you tell yourself in the mirror. It's formed by 3 layers. Your habits, become unconscious proof of who you are. If you want to feel like a disciplined person, do what disciplined people do daily. Your internal dialogue. The most powerful words in the world are the ones you say to yourself. Identity begins with the phrases that follow, I am. You can start rewriting your identity by rewriting these 3 pillars. The shift from goals to identity-based habits. Here's how most people live. Better, goal-based thinking. I want to run a marathon. They train sporadically, and if motivation dies, so do their actions. Here's how top performers think. Better, identity-based thinking. I'm a runner. They run because it's who they are, not because of a one-time finish line. This applies everywhere. Better, I want to write a book, becomes I am a writer. Better, I want to get in shape, becomes I am an athlete. Better, I want to grow a business, becomes I am an entrepreneur. When identity aligns with action, consistency becomes natural, not forced. The power of casting votes for who you are. Every small action you take is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Every time you finish a hard workout, you're voting for the identity of a high performer. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you're voting for the identity of someone serious about growth. You don't need perfection, you need repetition. Thousands of small votes, cast daily, accumulate into a powerful belief. This is who I am. Better, identity upgrades require identity death. To rise into a new version of yourself, you must let go of the old identity that's holding you down. The identity that says, I'm just not a morning person. I choose who I become from this day forward. This is not denial, it's discipline. It's saying, yes, that's who I've been, but it's not who I'm becoming. New levels of life require new levels of self-definition. Daily practice. The Identity Journal. If you want to accelerate identity transformation, use this short daily prompt. Who am I becoming? Write a clear sentence. I am becoming the kind of person who. Then take one of them, even if it's small. What proof did I create today? At the end of the day, write one way you acted like that person. Do this consistently, and you will no longer need motivation, because your actions will begin to feel like a natural expression of who you are. Identity doesn't need permission. You don't need someone to validate your new identity. You don't need a diploma to say you're a leader. You don't need $1 million to say you think like the wealthy. You don't need to be famous to act like someone with high standards. You choose, you declare it, and then you build it brick by brick, habit by habit. Let other people doubt you. That's fine. What matters most is whether you believe the identity you're stepping into. You rise when you decide who you are. Most people are living as a second-hand version of themselves, wearing identities they inherited, absorbed, or settled for. But you're here to rise from within. That starts by becoming the architect of your identity, with intention, clarity, and daily repetition. Don't just hope to be disciplined. Don't just wish to be confident. Be the kind of person who already is, and let your actions prove it. The world doesn't shape you. You shape yourself. Part 9. Build the standards that build your life. There's a level of life most people never access, not because they're incapable of it, but because they never raise their standards high enough to reach it. Your life, your habits, your environment, your relationships. They don't rise to your goals. They rise to the minimum level of what you're willing to tolerate. And if you don't define your standards, the world will do it for you. The hidden power of standards. Standards are not preferences. They're not dreams or nice-to-haves. Standards are the rules you live by when no one is watching. They are the invisible architecture of your behavior, and they determine how you treat yourself, what you expect from others, what you accept from your environment, how you show up when it's hard, what you no longer settle for. They are not external demands. They are internal declarations. When your standards rise, your life follows. Your standards are showing. Look around your current reality. The quality of your sleep, a reflection of your standards. The way you manage your time, standard. The food you eat, the way you speak to yourself, the people you keep around you, all standards. You might not have written them down, but they're operating. If your life feels stuck, chaotic, or misaligned, don't just work harder. Audit your standards, because your outcomes are not random. They are direct reflections of what you believe you deserve and require. Low standards feel comfortable until they don't. You'll never feel friction when your standards match your environment. You'll feel familiar, even if that familiarity is toxic. That's why change feels so difficult. Raising your standards is uncomfortable at first, because it threatens the comfort of what you've always accepted. When you decide, I no longer tolerate excuses, I no longer engage in negative self-talk, I no longer surround myself with people who drain me, the world doesn't applaud. It pushes back, because your new standards expose what others aren't willing to change. But this is your right. You are not here to make others comfortable. You are here to live in alignment with your highest potential. How to upgrade your standards without overwhelm. Start with these 4 simple but transformational categories. 1. Mental standards. What thoughts do you allow to repeat in your mind? What do you tell yourself when you fail? Do you feed your focus or your fears? Raise your standard for clarity, optimism, and self-respect. 2. Emotional standards. Do you control your emotions or get controlled by them? Do you respond with intention or react out of habit? Raise your standard for emotional mastery and self-awareness. 3. Environmental standards. Is your space organized or chaotic? Do the people around you reflect your goals or distract from them? Raise your standard for peace, order, and strategic proximity. 4. Behavioral standards. What do you do every day regardless of how you feel? What's your bare minimum for excellence? Raise your standard for consistency and execution. Even a 10% upgrade in one of these areas will have 100% impact on how you feel, think, and act. What you allow is what will continue. You don't get what you want. You get what you refuse to tolerate. If you allow yourself to skip commitments, drown in distractions, and entertain self-doubt, don't be surprised when the results match the standard. But the moment you declare, this is no longer acceptable in my life, the game changes. You're no longer negotiating with weakness. You're leading yourself with non-negotiables. The power of non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are the ultimate standard. They are decisions you've made ahead of time, regardless of mood or circumstances. For example, I move my body every day, even if just a walk. I don't speak negatively about myself, ever. I block out 2 hours of deep focus daily, no exception. I leave environments or conversations that steal my peace. These are not about perfection. They are about clarity and consistency. Write them down, live by them, enforce them, especially when it's inconvenient. How to reinforce new standards daily. A simple 3-minute morning ritual to lock in new standards. Ask, what are my standards for today? Be specific. Choose one free. Say them out loud. Visualize. Imagine yourself meeting those standards. Calmly and powerfully. Feel the version of you who honors those commitments. Decide, no matter what happens today, I will act in alignment with who I've chosen to become. Then go live it. This is how you condition identity. This is how you build trust in yourself. This is how you win from within. You are one standard away from a new life. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to raise the bar in one area and honor it with discipline. Then do it again and again. That's how average becomes excellence. That's how excuses die. That's how momentum is built. Every day, you're either reinforcing old standards or installing new ones. Make them intentional. Your rise is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of what you refuse to settle for and what you demand of yourself consistently. You don't get what you're capable of. You get what you require from yourself. Relentless. Part 10. Own the identity that can't be broken. By now you've confronted your excuses. You've dismantled old patterns. You've rebuilt your routines, mindset, and daily habits. But to rise, truly rise, you must do one final thing. Own the identity that cannot be broken. Not the identity tied to what others see. Not the image you protect. Not your achievements or failures. The identity that lasts is the one forged from values, vision, and inner truth. This part is not about action alone. It's about becoming. Your true power is in who you decide to be. Everything you've built, your discipline, your routines, your mental standards, none of it lasts if you're still calling yourself the same old version of you. Change only becomes permanent when your identity catches up with your behavior. You can take action for a few days from motivation, but to live differently forever, you must be someone different inside. That doesn't mean pretending. It means remembering who you were before the world told you to shrink. Who are you without the noise? Strip away the role, the achievements, the past mistakes, the opinions, the though limitations. What's left? A mind built to grow, a will built to fight, a heart built to lead, and a soul that was born to rise. You don't need to borrow power from the outside world. You've had it within you all along. You just stopped accessing it. But once you decide who you are, everything else falls in line. Your identity is not something you stumble into. It's something you build intentionally, day by day, action by action. You become confident by acting with courage when you feel fear. You become disciplined by showing up when it's inconvenient. You become powerful by saying no when it's easier to say yes. You become unstoppable by refusing to entertain the version of you that quits. You are the sculptor. Your life is the clay. Every choice is a strike of the chisel. The 4 pillars of an unbreakable identity. To walk into the world unshakable, your identity must rest on these 4 pillars. 1. Conviction. A deep knowing of who you are and what you stand for. Without conviction, you'll bend to pressure. With it, you'll walk through fire and remain focused. Ask yourself, what truths are non-negotiable in your life? What values do you refuse to compromise? Write them, speak them, live them. 2. Consistency. Identity is not built in inspiration. It's built in repetition. Every consistent action is a vote for the person you say you are. 3. Resilience. You will get hit. You will fail. You will be misunderstood. But when your identity is resilient, setbacks don't steal your power. They refine it. Resilience means you learn faster than you fall. You keep moving forward when motivation disappears. 4. Vision. You must see yourself beyond where you are. An identity rooted in vision acts today like the person it's becoming tomorrow. Ask yourself daily, If I already had the results I wanted, how would I think, act, and carry myself? Then do that before the results arrive. Make your identity louder than your circumstances. Life will test you. There will be chaos, delays, doubt. But when your identity is louder than your environment, you don't collapse. You command. Your discipline leads your day. Your clarity guides your choices. Your energy infects your environment. Your presence shapes the room, not the other way around. And you no longer ask, can I do this? You say, this is who I am now, and this is how I move. Don't chase validation. Generate certainty. Let others doubt. Let them misunderstand. Let them gossip, compare, criticize. You're not building a life to impress them. You're building a life to honor what you know is inside you. Validation is fleeting, but certainty, that's eternal, and it's built through aligned action. When your identity and your habits match, you become undeniable. Your new identity, a declaration. Let this be your new standard, not just words you hear, but a truth you live. I am no longer waiting to feel ready. I am no longer negotiating with my old self. I rise from within. Every single day, I move with purpose, act with intention, and protect my energy. I do hard things without hesitation. I outlast resistance. I don't perform for approval. I lead from conviction. I've burned the bridge to the version of me who settles. I own who I am, and I back it up with relentless action. I was born to rise, and I will not be stopped. This is not the end. It's a beginning. You've listened, you've reflected, you've acted, but this isn't where it ends. This is where you take everything you've learned and go live it, because the world doesn't need more information. It needs people who are alive, from the inside out, people who are clear, focused, and grounded in a mission, people who don't wait for opportunity, they create it. People like you. Every day from now on is a test of your alignment. Will you act like the old version of you, or the one who is rising? The mirror will ask. Your habits will answer. The greatest power you'll ever possess isn't talent, it isn't luck. It's identity, owned, aligned and expressed. You were born to rise, and now, nothing can hold you back.